What's up, everybody? I'm back, and it's time to review The Strangers Chapter 2. Let's go. So I know, guys, it has been a while. I hope you guys are doing well. I think it's the longest break that I've ever taken since starting this YouTube journey, but I am back and I'm super excited. So I saw Strangers Chapter 2 about a week or so ago, maybe, and going into this one, I was kind of on the fence. Of course, the Strangers franchise, I absolutely love. The first movie is one of my favorite horror slash movies ever, and I put it up there really, really high because to me, there's different types of slashers. I thought of the Strangers, the very first one, as like the next evolution of Halloween, because they use a lot of the tropes used in the Halloween movies in Strangers, the very first movie. So from then on, I fell in love with the Strangers. Prey at Night, I really enjoyed. A lot of people didn't like it. I liked it. Now, Strangers Chapter 1, I didn't like it all that much because clearly it was a retread of the original movie, but it didn't have the same level of tense, like the tense feeling that the original Strangers did. But in my head with this one, I'm thinking, okay, now it's the director's chance to tell us what story he's actually trying to convey. Instead of taking a story already made, now in chapter 2, he's showing us his take on how he views the Strangers lore. So for that reason is what brought me to the theaters to check it out. I liked it. What I liked about this movie is generally in a movie there's a downtime. There's no downtime in this movie. From the beginning to the end, it's go, go, go. But it's not go at a point where you're out of breath when it's over. It's not over the top. It's paced very well. I also love the lead. I thought she was amazing in the first one, and she was probably the best part of the first one. And I also am a huge fan of hospital scenes in slashers. I don't know what it is, but I think it's the idea that traditionally hospitals are always so busy and there's so many people in there that it's how do the Strangers get to a person that's in the hospital. I also like the tenseness of the whodunit. I really thought it was pretty cool because there's never really been, it's kind of almost like Scream, where you don't really know who Ghostface is. And in this one, the entire town looks suspicious. They come across suspicious just in the way the way they look at her, the way they talk about what happened. There's so many people that are giving reverence in a way to what happened to her and her boyfriend in the last movie that you just don't know who is actually playing the Strangers. Now, I've always been a big fan of when it comes to a masked killer, I don't really need to know who they are. I don't really need to know a backstory. Sometimes when you take a movie and try to explain away why a killer is doing something, it takes away from that. And I was nervous going to this movie that would happen. Now, for those of you who don't know, it's out there. This is the second in the 3-chapter movie series. So we had chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3 is coming out soon. So it's the first time I experienced this was in the Halloween 2018 trilogy. I don't think it's a good thing when you tell your audience ahead of time that I'm going to make three movies, just because it seems like one is used just to get to the other. This one didn't feel that way. It felt like its own movie that was needed. And everything that happened that was needed, but it also opened some questions or raised some questions that can and should be closed in the next installment. It didn't feel like a filler. It felt like an actual movie that spurred it along. So it felt like, if we're running a relay race, the first one passed off the baton and this one just kept it running. But I like this one so much more than chapter 1. The only drawback that I didn't like this one was, one of the things about The Strangers that made me such a huge fan was their use of music. They did a really good job to use sound and music to juxtapose with the heinous stuff you're seeing on screen that would just get a deeper, you would allow us to get a deeper feeling from. And this one didn't have it. It kind of went the opposite direction of very, very minimal music, which also works too. When I think of The Strangers, the music is what kind of like, that's what I put to The Strangers as like its own thing. One thing this did well is it showed the relationship of the strangers, to show that you still don't know who these people are, but you just know they love one another, and they are, however they've got to their point of where they are now, they are a family, they are a unit, and they're not just senseless, uncaring killers. They might be to everybody else, but to each other they're not. That's another thing I liked about it. But overall, it was a good experience. I enjoyed it. I'll be seeing it again when it comes out on streaming. If you haven't seen it yet, I suggest go checking it out. It's the Glad's Horror Channel. I'm back, guys. This is the best horror channel here on YouTube. If you guys are new here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time.